Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in Mississippi, WYED 94.1 FM and WYEDonline.com. We're glad that you all could be with us. Also, those tuning in through our online affiliates around the world, including our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. Glad you all could be with us as well. I'm excited to welcome Jamie Anderson to our program today. She's not only a writer and director, but an individual who's been able to do work that she loves and to share that with the world. We're going to talk to her about her journey as a storyteller through film, what that's been like for her. Also, her project Pumas, when she was able to work on it, and what that says about all of us when it comes to working through challenges. We also will let you guys know how to stay connected with Jamie and all the great things that are coming up with her. Jamie, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, look, I have to say this first of all, especially for our radio audience. We both have a Mississippi connection. The Magnolia State being a part of our lives, and I'm really excited about the opportunity, Jamie, to be able to talk to you. I want to talk to you though first about the experience. What has it been like for you to do what you love in the creative arena, and to be able to see the response to it?
It's been incredible, really. I mean, I think I realized how much I love writing and directing after, a career in acting and television and film. And I realized my greatest passion was helping others shine on film. And to do that usually in a comedic way. A lot of my stuff is comedic, but with a lot of heart. And it's been my great honor, honestly, to be able to do that for other people.
I'm sure you've heard what a lot of our, especially our radio audience, Jamie, have heard, and that is about, where stars are made, right? People will tell you where you have to be from, who you have to know. But, what was it about the industry that made you say, this is something I want to do, and then kind of take the steps to do it?
Well, I think I wanted it from a very young age, growing up in Gulfport, Mississippi. And, I think for me, even as a child, I loved being able to express myself through my art, and then that transferred, through my life, in film and television, and for me, I think, you have to be able to not listen to any of the, a lot of the BS out there, and be empowered just to make your own stuff, to create no matter what's going on in the world and what's going on around you.
Well, that brings up an interesting thing then, Jamie, because I believe in order to be able to get to that place, you have to definitely, for one, know what your why is, right? But also, I think, believe enough in what you want to do. Where do you think that belief comes from for you?
I think that belief comes from wanting to give a voice to those maybe who don't have a voice, and especially growing up in the South, and there's so many beautiful things about the South, but, typical Southern way is sometimes a little bit repressed, I would say. Not always, but so I think that comes from, wanting to give a voice to those who don't have it, and just having a great drive for that. It really has been the impetus for me, again, for pushing my project so much. It's not only for myself as an artist. I truly get such a joy out of helping other actors realize their dreams, help their dreams come true, because I do know how hard it is, having, come from that acting background. And so it's, again, just like my greatest love, getting to tell an actor they got the part is so exciting. I just love it. And then also, again, I feel like if I don't push that hard, who's going to? Because no one's gonna know and love your art, I think, as much, again, as yourself, in terms of the why, like you're talking about. No one's going to be as motivated by your own intention as yourself. If you have that deep, pure intention, then I feel like you can move mountains.
Such a great point. And I think such a great reminder, I think, for all of us. Viva Glam Magazine recognized you, Jamie, as the new female film director to watch for in 2020. 2020 was an interesting year. I think we could all say that without a doubt. But definitely for your industry, though, Jamie, I mean, there was a lot of people trying to figure it out, right? I mean, trying to figure out what to do. I'm a little upset that the 355 has been pushed back to 2022, but that's for another conversation. You know, I mean, there's so many great projects that we're not able to keep moving forward. How did you find the drive to push forward, but also the ability to do it?
Yes, I think one of the biggest lessons for me during this time is that there's so many things that we don't have control over, right? Like, you know, you and I can't control the pandemic. So what can I control? Well, I can control how productive I am in terms of creating more art. I can push in the ways that I can. At the end of the day, as you know, it's kind of up to whatever you believe in, but, you know, the universe or its timing. And I feel like at the end of the day, if I can say, you know, I did everything I could, I tried to help as many people as I could, and then the rest is really beyond my control, then there's a lot of surrender during this time, I would say. You know, for me personally, I was supposed to direct 2 features in 2020, and both of them, of course, got moved to 2021, and, you know, God willing, that'll still happen. But when that happened, I was crushed, of course, you know, and so I asked myself, you know, well, what do I have control over? Well, I had this pilot that had almost sold a couple times, and you know, in the last couple of years, and I was talking to someone who'd seen other work of mine, and they said, "What do you want to do next?" And I said, "I really want to direct my pilot, and I want to do it during the pandemic because I don't know when this thing's going to end, and I want to keep hope alive. I want to get people back to work in the safest way possible, obviously." And I think there's a way to do it, because if we do have to kind of keep working with and around this virus or the pandemic, I want to figure out how to do it. And I'm completely determined to do that.
I love that. And I think No, I was just going to say I love that attitude, because again, I mean, there are so many people. I was talking with a guest earlier about that we're talking about the wait. You know, I'm just going to wait. And I think so many times we find ourselves kind of in that holding pattern. So, but I think it's so interesting, too, in hearing you say that, Jamie. I think what I kept hearing you saying was really, in spite of whatever we're dealing with, whether it's the pandemic or struggles or challenges, the importance of pushing through. So talk to us about Pumas and where the idea kind of came from.
Yeah, so the idea originated, I was, you know, thinking about a couple of girls in their 30s. I really wanted to write a sort of Americana Sex in the City. I felt like there was a hole or an opening there for something that's just really relatable for a lot of the United States that hadn't quite been tapped into. A little less shinier, you know, than some of the things that might be on TV. A little bit, like I said, more relatable about you know, what these girls are going through in their 30s and their struggles, but in a, you know, I would say a smaller town in Florida. It's not, the town's not that small, but compared to, you know, say like New York or, you know, LA, just the differences there, and feeling like they're kind of stuck there. And so I wanted to take a lot of real life experiences that I was seeing happening around me with friends' marriages and all that kind of thing, and put it in a place that, you know, again, people could really relate.
You mentioned earlier in this conversation, Jamie, about your love of comedy, but also I think storytelling too. What has that been like for you to see the way that people have responded to it? To be able to do something that you love, but like I said, to be able to see the way that people kind of respond to your own brand of storytelling and the way that you kind of approach the industry.
Yes, it's been very humbling, to be honest. Kind of going back to something we were talking about earlier, you have to be yourself. I know it's like almost a cliche, but the most important thing in any kind of artistic expression is to be your most authentic self, because there's no one else in the world that has that exact DNA or heart and mind as you. So part of the journey is like finding that authentic self, I think, and then expressing it and being, raw and vulnerable enough to say, this is me. This is me. For me, I take a lot of things that are hard and challenging in life, and I put a comedic spin on it, and sometimes it's quite absurd. Sometimes it's a little bit crass, so it may not be for everyone. But the people who do respond, it's really, like I said, it's really humbling. And if I can, touch people and help them feel, help them laugh through their challenges, then I feel like I've done my job. So
I've referenced a couple of times in this conversation with you, Jamie, you're being a writer and director. You mentioned, of course, your acting journey as well. Do you find a place that you're more comfortable? Is it in front of the camera or behind?
It's definitely behind. It's definitely behind the camera. I didn't even know. I had a love of acting and had a great time and career, but part of the reason, I was always writing I was writing my entire life, but part of the reason I really made that jump is because I didn't want to just keep waiting for the phone to ring. And so I wanted to empower myself and to create content. So, but definitely, my first short film that I directed, I felt an exhilaration behind the camera and a freedom, honestly, that I'd never felt in front of the camera. And I'm so grateful for, my career in acting. It's only helped me be, a better director, and have a deep respect for actors and what they go through. But no, I absolutely just love directing, and if I'm acting out a scene for another actor, I'll think to myself, oh wow, I'm way more comfortable doing this because the camera's not on me than if it were, So It's kind of a funny thing.
Yeah, and one of the ways, of course, all of us get to stay connected these days, either by choice or because of necessity, Jamie, that we're able to stay connected is through social media. How big of a role has that played for you in not only what you do in the industry, but also in your connection to the world? Yes,
it's been really eye-opening, and I one of the things I love about it is it does enable us to be connected and in contact with people we normally wouldn't get to meet or stay in contact with, or an actor from Italy reaching out to me, direct messaging me on one of the platforms, asking if I'll watch his reel and consider him for a part or something like that. I always try to, look at everything and everyone and be of service through my art as much as I can. And I think social media really, it's a good way to do that. So.
Yeah. What a great thing. Well, I know that our audience appreciates that. Again, everyone, Jamie Anderson is our guest. We're talking with her not only about her journey in the entertainment industry, but also what it's been like for her to do what she loves as a writer, producer, director, and how she was able to, even during the pandemic, to be able to keep moving forward, as she talked about, even with her pilot for Pumas. So I have to ask you about the what's next, Jamie. As you've done so much, you're working on other projects. What should our audience be on the lookout for this year?
Yes, so right now, Pumas is being shopped to be sold, so keep your eye out for that. And then I have 2 features, like I said, I'll be directing, God willing, this year. One's called Summer in Rome, and that will shoot in Italy. And the other one is called Pregnant in Las Vegas, and of course that will shoot in Vegas. And then also, in between, I'll be creating new stuff. So there you have it.
Yeah, a lot for us to look forward to, which is a great way to tee up the fact. Jamie, how can our audience stay connected with you and kind of keep up with the journey?
Yes, you can stay connected to me on Instagram. I'm JamieAndersonFilm.com. Well, Jamie Anderson Film on Instagram. My website is Jamie Anderson Film, and my Twitter is Jamie A. Film.
All right, and we will make sure for our podcast audience that we tag all of that up for you guys. Jamie, it was a pleasure having you on the program. I really appreciate you stopping by, and it goes without saying, you're welcome back here anytime. Looking forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you so much. You're wonderful. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Definitely want to thank our mutual friend Cher for setting up this conversation with us for today, and thank all of you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.